End up killing a couple of tanks, maybe? No, I don't. Looks like it's already gone down. This is a pretty crazy game here going on right now. Very action-packed everywhere. We still got 5 bases for Protoss right now. 4 bases for Flash right now. I think he might be taking the 12, which would give him his 5th base. I think Flash is going to be pushing that top right base pretty soon. I don't think he's going to be willing to allow Cal to have that double gas and to get that up and running. That's probably not something he wants to even see, to think about spamming carriers with High Templar and Dragoons on top. You know, just the fact that he'd have the gas to do that if he wanted to is pretty scary off of 5 gas, that you could have that brilliant of a combination. We got a nice little recall here to try and break this 12 o'clock position. A bunch of Dragoons being recalled back into the tank line. So, you know, if you don't have enough Zealots to push through the Vultures and the mines, just recall Dragoons right on top of the tanks. You know, it works. Flash being forced to lift that command center and is going to have to take that away to safety. And Cal should really back off here. He doesn't want to engage in this area again. It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He does not want to engage those supply depot line and the tank line there close to the natural of Flash's base. It's just not will not be conducive to Cal's victory to engage that line at this point. He's going to need to find some other ways to hold down Flash and keep Flash back, I think. Take advantage of the fact that the multiple pathways of this map, which Cal's been doing a pretty decent job of taking advantage of overall. You know, there's, like I said, there's 3 different ways to go. Looks like that EMP catch the Arbiter. Can't tell. Don't think it did. A couple missed EMPs here, actually, from Flash, which is kind of unordinary, if I do say so myself. But, you know, take advantage of the fact that you can really move your army around pretty easily as a Protoss player, whereas a Terran player, you know, it's a little bit more difficult. It looks like Flash is trying to make this a very vertical game. He just wants this to become a north-south game, and Cal was going to try and force it into, try and force a lot of east-west action on top of it. He doesn't want those lines of Terran tanks being too deep, and that's really a nice idea here by Cal. You can see how he's moving his army north and south, moving it parallel to the forces of Flash, and if Flash ever pushes out, that means that Cal has an opportunity to make a nice long broadside attack. He has an opportunity to flank, to backdoor. You know, it's going to be really tough for Flash to push out, and Cal can really take advantage of that. That's a really smart play on his part, I think. And is that EMP going to catch the Arbiter? EMP, it does go off, catches the Arbiter. We got some High Templar here now again. Storm going off, not going off on the tank, going off on Vultures and Goliaths. And where are the Zealots? Why are you attacking Cal without Zealots? Why are you attacking? There are the Zealots. Okay, we need to get these Zealots out in front. Can't afford to allow the Dragoons to take so much damage. And you can just see once again just not enough forces here from Cal. He's trying to push in there. A couple nice storms could actually be huge here, but I just don't think, he just doesn't have the forces here. Not enough Zealots. Cal just did not have enough Zealots. I don't think his army composition was right there, although it looks like he's doing more damage than I expected. He actually picked off a couple extra tanks, more than I expected. But overall, I mean, and he's going to get pushed back here again. I think he's going to be pretty happy overall with this attack. I think if there was more Zealots, if that was a little bit more Zealot heavy of a composition, he would have won more clearly and put himself into more of a dominant position. Whereas right now he's going to, I don't know why he was trying to take the 12 o'clock base, but he's going to lose that 12 o'clock base. There's no way he's going to hold that. That was just, I don't want to say stupid, but like, come on, Cal. Why would you even try that? That's just ridiculous. I don't know why he was trying to take that, how he thought that he could possibly defend it. But that's, I mean, I guess he can be annoying and stop that command center from landing for a little while, but pretty pointless overall, in my opinion. Not really worth it. Could have done that with a pylon instead, you know? So that's that. But I think he could have really won the field with more of a Zealot heavy composition in that position. He has had this double gas going at the top right for a really long time now. We're pushing on what now, 3 or 4 minutes that he's had that running, which means his gas is very very high, which means that we're going to see a lot of High Templar, which is what we've got. We got a lot of Arbiters in the air. If he can use these correctly, do some nice recalls, you know, he can really spam stasis. If he can keep his Arbiter spread out a little bit and avoid the EMPs, you know, you can really spam stasis, and there's very little a Terran army can do if you land 4 stasis. Very little that they can do, you know. I mean, you could easily catch, what, you know, 10, 12, 15 tanks with 4 stasis, so really can just end the game right there. Just by doing that stasis and wiping the floor army-wise and then killing the stasis units afterwards. I mean, you just get such a huge advantage. Looks like this Arbiter towards the south may have been seen by the Vultures. Not positive. I think it was seen. Although I'm not really sure where it's going unless it's got hallucinations, because we saw it happen when you go to the 9 o'clock position. You need some hallucinations there in order to get to that base. So if he's going for a recall, I don't think this is going to succeed. There are just too many turrets. Looks like he's just going to recall his army, like not even not recalling it on top of a base, just recalling his army and trying to push in here a little bit. Going to get a little bit of a flank here, but once again, not a whole lot of zealots in this army, and I just don't like Cal's army composition. Getting some nice storms off on these tanks, which is good, but you can just see the Dragoons just taking so much damage. The Dragoons are just getting pwned left and right, and I've said it a couple times already. I just think he needs more zealots. I think it's simple as that. That if he had more zealots in that, if it wasn't just dragoons, if there was a control group of zealots in that group once again to charge in there and get into the tank lines, I think he could have done a ton of damage once again and force Flash back. But now that the House lost a couple of engagements, Flash is being allowed to push. You can see him kind of pushing linearly to the top right, and now it's going to become very, very difficult for Cal to hold this top right position. He's got to do something. He doesn't want to lose this double gas expansion. It's really important to his strategy right now. He's been spamming a lot of High Templar. He's been spamming a lot of Harbiters, and to maintain his army composition, which I don't particularly like the lack of zealots of, he's going to need to protect this. Looks like he's going to recall in some forces here. High Templar Storm doing not much of anything. Now that group of tanks is asking to be stasis, just asking, begging, praying to be stasis. Now, take care of it, Cal. Arbiter getting EMP, so he just doesn't have enough energy right now. Flash's EMPs have definitely picked up as of late. Been able to get a couple crucial ones. Looks like Cal might be able to get a little bit of a flank here. Might still be able to save this Nexus. It's going to be close. If he goes in there now, he might be able to save it, with a big flank from the front and the back. But he needs to kind of go now. That Nexus is not going to have a whole lot of time. It doesn't have too many more seconds left before those tanks start focusing it down. We got a ton of Vultures coming in here with mines, so this is just going to delay these Protoss forces for that much longer. Got two Arbiters hugging each other, asking to be EMP'd. Should probably spread out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. There's a couple nice stasis going down. Catching, it looks about like 5 tanks total or so. And Cal's going to be able to engage here at least a little bit, but he is not going to be able to save that Nexus. That Nexus does go down, so Cal kind of losing control of this game right now. Pushing in here again. If he can get some nice storms off with this High Templar, if he can storm with this High Templar, if he can, there's one storm with the High Templar, gets one tank at least. But not enough here, I don't think. I think we're going to see Cal maybe actually lose this game soon. This is not looking really good for Cal. He's made some errors throughout this game, and Flash is just eating them alive, eating these mistakes alive. Poor Cal. Now we got there's the zealots. Finally, there's about a control group of zealots. Maybe he can finally break this push. These are what, 303 upgrades? Can't see what the shields are. I think it's 303 upgrades for Protoss. Assume